Welcome back, everybody. All right, so now that we have this right here, let's select this main body here, and let's go and let's select this here. Okay, so now we need to make this look a lot better than it does here, and we need to add in a whole bunch of other things as well. So let's take this and let's move it right back. So usually sniper rifles are pretty long, and we can always go ahead and change this later. Okay, first things first is let's make this look a little bit cooler. And in order to do that, let's go to our tools and let's put the loop and cut. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. We're going to move it here. Actually, what we'll do instead of that is we will select these two faces here and we'll scale this, but not into the middle. We need to scale this along the x-axis. Okay, so we're going to make this, if we take a look at the top here, we're going to make this smaller here, and that actually looks actually kind of cool when you think about it. So we'll do that here. What we can do is instead of that, there's what I was originally trying to do is you can actually loop cut this once, and then we can loop cut it again. Okay, so that overall effect is what we're going for. And if we actually take and go to the edge select and move this and this down like that, you can see that it looks kind of cool. But we also need to select this one and this one here. We'll just go ahead, we'll move it down like that, and now that's starting to look cool. Now, at this time, then we'll take a look at this here. We'll take a look at these two. Push S to scale and then X2 on the axis here, and you can see that we now have something that looks a little bit cooler. Okay, now we can likewise do that to the bottom here, but what we'll do is we will try and make the little we'll try and make the handle. So in order to do that, this loop cut is going to be your best friend. Okay, and so what we need to do is we need to actually put in one, and actually there's just a little bit of problem with the mouse there, so I'm just going to have to move this into the right position. So I just canceled that, and I'm going to just move in here. I'm going to put one, and we're going to put this where the handle should be. Okay, and then loop cut kind of more like that. And by doing this here, we can go and select this bottom area here and simply push extrude. Okay, extrude, and there we go. We have this, and we can actually move this back here. Now this here is not bad. It's a little bit small for that, so we can actually kind of move that out there. But what we can do is if you ever make this mistake, and this actually happens, it's technically not even a mistake. It's just like a kind of a, you can actually scale that just like this, right? And there we go. And that looks more like the handle we're looking for. It's a little bit too big, so I'm just going to undo that by pushing Control Z a couple times, and I'm going to scale it. I think that's where it was before, something more like that. Okay. Now, sometimes the bottom area here, you can see that they're not straight. That doesn't necessarily matter, but it could matter just a bit here. Now, so we have this here, and what we'll do is I'm going to extrude this again, just very extrude again. I'm actually going to push 3 again and extrude it one more time, and I'm going to scale that out just a bit. And you can see that that's a decent handle, but there's actually a better way to do this. Okay, and the better way to do this is to simply take this here and extrude it just like that. Okay, and if we really wanted to, we could go and add in, we can either take the bottom edge and move it out like that, or the top edge, make sure it's top edge, and kind of move it out like that. Now, what we need to do is let's hop back into face select here, and this is going to be push 3 just because it works here, and let's move this down here. Now we needed this little bit here, and if you've taken the other one and you've taken these tutorials here, you'll notice that you need these here. Now I need to select all of these faces here, and what I'm going to do with all of this here is simply just move it back here, or we can actually rotate this, and I'm actually want to rotate this the other way. And we could, in theory, move it back like this, or we can just simply kind of take this one here and move it back. But we need to, of course, select all of these faces here, just like this. I'm just going to move this out here, and there we go. Make sure all of these bottom ones are selected. All right, and let's move that back. Okay, there we go. And we have something that kind of works out here. Now, of course, we can go and play around with this as much as we want. We can kind of move this back and move this back too, etc. But there we go. We have something that looks very much like a handle here. And we can go and even add in like a trigger if we want to. Of course, we'll probably end up doing that here. Let's make this top part look a little bit better. And how we're going to do that is we're going to hop into Edge Select, which we're already there, but if you're not, you can go and do that. And we'll simply just move this like that. Okay? And if we really wanted to, we can go and move this back like this. And there we go. And we're going to be adding a lot of loop cuts in here, but let's go ahead and let's add in a simple trigger, and let's go ahead and loop cut and slide, and I'll just go and I'll add in something like this here, and then another loop cut right in here. Okay, and maybe just one more loop cut. Something like that. Okay, and let's go and let's make this trigger work. And I'll just go ahead and I'll push E to extrude again, and then E to extrude. And we can actually probably even get away with this. For here, we'll click this here, and we'll kind of move it in here. And if we really wanted to, we could push E to extrude, move it over, and this is going to be our trigger. Now, just E to extrude, move it over, E to extrude, move it over. Now I'm trying to be as non-detailed as I possibly can because no one is going to care whether your trigger has a bunch of detail, but that looks decent enough for anyone to kind of look here. If anything, we should probably even move this a bit more out like that. But of course we need to select all of these faces here, and we'll just move this out more like that. Actually need to actually select the right one here. Just move it out just a bit here. And if you move it out too much, you see that it becomes a little bit of a problem, but just move it out just a bit here. And I think that works out quite well. Okay, so this tutorial is getting a little bit long. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.